Hey everybody, today we're going to talk about osteoporosis, rheumatoid arthritis, and psoriatic arthritis. Three conditions that don't sound like they have much in common, but actually do. And what they have in common is that I see veterans applying for them incorrectly all day long, and it's probably hurting their overall VA disability benefits rating. I have a way to fix it, and I want you to watch this video all the way to the end where I discuss how to best apply for it so you start off on the right foot with the VA and hopefully end up with the best rating possible for your conditions. And quite frankly, so the VA doesn't miss any of the conditions that you are applying for, but maybe the VA doesn't understand. So let's talk about these conditions. Osteoporosis is a condition that we see more commonly in female veterans where the bones become weak and brittle. It has something to do with calcium not getting into the bones themselves. Again, I'm not a doctor, but it's a bone condition where the bones become weak and brittle, and they can result in breaking of the hips, fractures in other bones, joint problems, and the like. Rheumatoid arthritis, and for that matter, psoriatic arthritis, are two types of non-traumatic arthritis, meaning that it's not because you have an injury to the joint, but rather a progressive disease condition where basically you develop arthritis, which is cartilage and bone in your joints is just getting angry and getting hard and falling apart and causing a lot of pain. Again, this is a totally non-medical explanation of this because I am the last person qualified to tell anybody about a medical condition. I'm just trying to explain this in the context of VA disability benefits. Now, what I see a lot of veterans do, quite frankly incorrectly, is when they fill out their 526EZ form or they go online or what have you, they might just claim osteoporosis on the claim form, or rheumatoid arthritis on the claim form, or psoriatic arthritis, or maybe just psoriasis on the claim form itself. Now, why is this wrong? It's not necessarily wrong if the VA worked the way it should in a perfect world, but we know they don't. Now, for this, you need to understand how the VA rates conditions and work backwards. The VA is actually going to look at individual joints and bones. So if you have osteoporosis that is affecting both hips and your lower back, the best way to point the VA in the right direction and ultimately to the right rating is to note that you have right hip osteoporosis, or left hip osteoporosis, or lower back osteoporosis, or all three. Same with rheumatoid arthritis. If you have rheumatoid arthritis affecting every joint in your body, or your knees, your hips, your wrists, your hands, your elbows, it's a good idea to claim each one of those. You have rheumatoid arthritis in your right wrist and in your left wrist, and in your right elbow and in your left elbow, and in your left hip and in your right hip. And that way we know that the VA is not going to leave out any of these individual conditions. Now, ultimately, they might combine several ratings because of a concept called pyramiding, or if there's something in the Code of Federal Regulations that do that. But it's really the best place to start to make sure you at least start off in the right place is if you have one of these systemic arthritis conditions or autoimmune conditions that is causing arthritis in the various joints, is to identify the actual joints affected. Elbows, shoulders, hips, knees, ankles, toes, what have you, and just list them one by one. It can be a little tedious, but that way the VA will actually go look at each of these individual joints and hopefully rate those appropriately. Because for most folks that come through that I see that have maybe psoriatic or rheumatoid arthritis, it's not one joint that's bothering them. It is 8, 10, 12 joints that are bothering them because the disease is actually impacting every single joint in the entire body. But the VA maybe forgets to include a joint in the rating or when they order the exams, what have you. So again, osteoporosis, rheumatoid arthritis, psoriatic arthritis, these are things that you want to apply for each and every joint that they affect, each and every body part that they affect, so that VA knows what to look for when evaluating your claim. This doesn't substitute good evidence and the rest of the evidence you want to put in a file, such as records from your private medical facility, if you're not being seen at the VA or at a Department of Defense facility, and maybe lay statements from yourself about how your condition affects you. These are all ways that you can help prove your case and the severity of your case. Now, if you've been denied one of these conditions or the VA has missed a condition after you applied for one and you want to talk about appealing, reach out, give us a call, see what we can do to help. In any event, until next time, take care.